Yes, sir.
Hey, let's go. I'm in your city.
Yeah. Well, you're in one of them. Yeah.
Let's go. Before we get started, would you just who is Miles Minnick today?
Yeah.
The man you are today. Like, just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Miles Minnick, Christian hip hop artist, husband, father of 4. I've been blessed to be a full-time artist for the past 6 years. Travel the world, preaching the gospel, performing at conferences, doing our own tours, our own shows. Maybe I've done 15 tours in the past 6 years. Currently have the #1 song in California radio,
Let's go.
which is a huge blessing. We just dropped an album with Lecrae a month ago. And I'm just a servant of God, man, wanting to be faithful to my family, my church, and to what God has called me to do. You know what I mean?
Let's go. And you attend Royal City.
I attend Royal City in Inglewood at the Miracle Theater. That's
Let's
another
go.
thing, too. You married Hope, and our church is at Miracle Theater.
Let's go.
Like, you can't make that up.
It's such a cool spot. I've had the opportunity to be there a few times, and man, it's like in the heart of the city.
Yeah. In the heart of, like, the best part of L.A. Like, everybody flies into Inglewood. You have the sports district with the Clippers playing down the street, the Rams, the Chargers playing down the street, the best movie theaters. This is where it's at, honestly.
Do you know George Gregory?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I'm hanging out with him tomorrow. He's a good mutual friend of Andrew and I, but he's the chaplain for the Chargers.
Oh, okay. I think I have met him.
Yeah, George and Tandra is his wife. Amazing people.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So before we get into the weeds, I would love to go back, and I think the story that God is writing in your life today, the foundation is often built in not sometimes in spite of us, but in the middle of some broken parts of your life. And just, I was sharing with you earlier, a large part of my story is that my mom got pregnant at 15, had me at 16, and being in the same area that my dad lived, and seeing him every day, it made me think, and just the way that attachment theory works, and just understanding my emotions as a kid, what doesn't make sense, you have to make sense of. And the way I made sense of it was, man, if I strive enough, if I become enough, if I do enough, maybe just then I'll feel as if I'm enough. And that was kind of the thing that set the tone for my whole life. I understand that your childhood was not the easiest. Would you mind sharing just a small aspect of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you more about your
ask away.
relationship with your mom too, because my first kid was born when I was 15 years old. My girl was pregnant when we were 14, or I was 14, she was 15. And so that dynamic, I'm curious to see how it turned out.
Yeah.
Because like I'm 31 now, so my daughter is 16, and we're as close as ever. Everybody thinks we're siblings, of course, but I'm like, how's it gonna be when I'm like 45 and she's like 31? Like, what's that gonna be like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, for me, I grew up in a one-parent household. My parents got divorced when I was 2 years old because my mother was diagnosed with schizophrenia, but she never accepted the diagnosis, and she cut off everybody who thought she needed help. Yeah. That included her best friends, her parents, her family, and so I never brought it up to her out of fear of being cut off as well. But even with that, she still would disappear out of my life several times a year, sometimes for years at a time. And so really, my dad raising me with the help of my grandmother, it was rough in a lot of ways, but I would say my biggest trauma is the trauma of not having my mom around. A lot of false promises. We're going to do this when I come back. We're going to do this when I come back. And all of these things that never end up happening. But I think the biggest moment that kind of paints the relationship I had with my mom is when I was 16 years old. on a bus in Concord, California. I seen my mom on a bus, and it's the first time I seen her in like some years. And so I'm approaching her with enthusiasm, excitement, like, Mom, oh my God, Mom, just trying to like catch her up on what's happening in my life, and thinking that she'll be excited to hear it. And as I'm talking to her, she's looking at me kind of funny, and she's like, "I'm sorry, who are you?" She didn't recognize me. She didn't know who I was. And so that like broke me as a kid. Like, I got off at the next bus stop. It wasn't even my stop. Just got off and just cried. And then that gave birth to like a rebellion in me. Like, F everybody.
Yeah.
Like, Mama don't care. I don't care. My dad took away my curfew when I was 10 years old. I'm out here just doing whatever I want to do. Now I'm wilding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a little picture of how I came up.
There's like my relationship with my dad today is interesting, because there was a moment that kind of things started happening for me, like on this side of heaven, and getting opportunities to speak and doing stuff, and I'm at conferences and writing books and stuff like that, and God woke me up in the middle of the night, and I felt the conviction to pray, and I was like, I'm gonna be lazy, so I'm just gonna say, Lord, I want to pray in my head, and then I feel the fear of God. And it's like, do you fear me? Do you revere me? I'm like, okay, out of the bed, So I get out of the bed and I get on my face, and I begin to see pictures of to make this make sense for the audience and for you. So when I was a kid, I used to look through this window where my mom worked at this restaurant, and through the window I would see Rogers, and that was a convenience store, and Rogers is my grandfather's name. So he owned the gas station in town, and I would see him, and I would see my dad pull up sometimes, and I would play this scenario out over and over again of me being in their life, and as I was walk to him, the glass was too thick for me to get to him. And then all of a sudden in this vision, my dad was trying to get to me, and he was a kid. And he was ashamed, and he didn't know what to say, and then the glass began to get thicker, and then he wanted to say something, but I couldn't hear him, and then all of a sudden the glass got so thick that he couldn't even speak, and it was just brewing in me this what had became apathy, which is indifference. It grew this empathy because he was a kid that didn't know what to say. It wasn't that he had any kind of malicious intent towards me. And what God was doing in me was saying, hey, the thought that your life is the way it is because I wasn't there, maybe that played a part in how you saw yourself. But upon my own free will, I chose to act out of rebellion. I chose to make these decisions. So I needed to forgive this man. And I was like, well, what if he doesn't like start being my dad? What if he doesn't, choose to be the grandfather to my kids? And I began to realize that I was again trying to play God.
Wow.
Where, because like when reconciliation won't meet your expectations, are you still willing to say I'm sorry and mean it? And it took a move of God for him to put my heart in the place where I'm not going to forgive my dad because I think that it's going to equate to an outcome. I'm going to forgive my dad because I've been forgiven. And that
that's good.
That broke something loose in me, and I just know for so long, my anger or my this unresolved towards him, it fueled me because I needed more because I didn't want to feel what I was feeling. So my success and everything was really a Band-Aid. Even me being in the porn industry or consuming porn, I started watching porn when I was 13, the girls, the money, drugs, alcohol, all the stuff. It was really, I didn't want to feel how bad I was hurt. And so for me, I was superimposing my wound on the world. And I just wonder, is that something that you've seen? And when God healed you or met you in that space, what did that look like?
When he met me in that space of abandonment and hurt, it took a minute for me to even be open to it, because like Christianity was never like, I mean, it was a thing at home, but it wasn't a requirement. It wasn't the culture of my house. In my house, you would smell weed, you would see smoke, you would see alcohol bottles. My brother and my father would physically fight several times a week. Like knives being pulled out, my dad shooting my brother, like all kind of stuff. So like God was never something that I even considered until around the same time I seen my mom. It was funny. I used to be heavy into weed. I was smoking every day, and in the middle of me smoking, it was like a whole smoking session. Me and my whole friend group, my friend Dante was like, "Yo, we should all go to church right now."
Just out of nowhere?
Yes. And of course, we all thought he was insane, but he was trying to be rational. Like, no, listen, hear me out. It's Wednesday night. We can go to the youth group, talk to the girls, get their phone numbers. All the girls from all the local high schools go to this church. We gotta go. And so we end up going, and mind you, I got that mindset where I'm like, man, I don't care about nothing. Like, I'm in the street. This is the life that I want. I just want to be a rapper. I want to be a famous gangster rapper, like these folks I'm looking up to in Oakland, and et cetera, et cetera. That's where I'm from, the Bay Area, from Northern California. And so we went to the church to go to the youth group, but there was no youth group that night. It was closed. So we had to go into the main service.
Okay.
And mind you, me coming in with that mindset, I didn't want to be there. I didn't care. Like, I was just trying to brush everything off. Even with that mindset, I was the main one, like, on the edge of my seat, like, into the message.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't come from a church home. Like, my dad, the furthest thing we would do is, he would teach me how to pray over my food and pray before I go to sleep. And we were like Easter, Mother's Day, Christmas type Christians.
Yeah. Same.
Right. So I'm listening to the worship, singing the lyrics off of the screen to myself on the edge of my seat, listening to the sermon. And as the sermon progresses, I'm just feeling like he's talking to me. I don't remember what he said. I just remember what I felt at that time. And then, mind you, it was a packed church. This is when that particular church was lit. Like, every service, mega church, no seats available. He did an altar call. And mind you, I'd never seen an altar call. I never knew what it was or what it looked like or what it meant. But he was like, come to the front if you want to accept God. So out of this whole church, I was the only one to go to the front. The only one.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know what it meant. I just knew what I felt. Went to the front, hands lifted, and I heard the voice of God for the very first time. When I was 16, high on weed, I heard him say, I'm going to touch you. 10 seconds later, the pastor comes off the stage and lay hands on me. And I fall out under the Spirit of God. The weight of God was so heavy, I literally couldn't move. And this wasn't something that was rehearsed to me or like learned behavior. I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
I was off the street. I had no church training.
Yeah.
So that was a supernatural experience for me. God literally took away the high that I had and gave me a new one. And he began to show me that he's the perfect parent.
Yeah.
That he was at every performance, and he gave me those dreams that I had, and he protected me from the gunshots at that house that was shot up on my birthday that I was in. He protected me from the car accident and from my demise, all of these things. And so just investigating God, getting closer to him, it filled that void that I had, in my life. And it added a peace and a level of comfort. Of course, it was a long process for me to forgive and to accept what God was trying to do. But that night, that was the beginning of the process for me. And just by me being planted, like, you know, it really put me on a path. And so it graduated from me resenting my mom to me, you know, going out of my way, like, Mom, let me take you to dinner. You know, it went from me, like, ignoring her calls when she did call to now me, like, trying to reach out to her. It's still not perfect. Like, we don't have, like, a perfect rhythm yet, but the pain is no longer there, for sure.
Praise God. That's incredible. And I think, so I'd love to hear just creativity in you and music. Was that something that was modeled to you, or
yes?
Okay, so where did that start?
So my mom's side of the family, which is really the only side of the family that I've had growing up, because my dad is from the East Coast, so all his relatives, you know, is back east. So being at my uncle's house, my grandma's house in Santa Rosa, like, everybody did music, all of them.
Yeah.
All of my cousins, my older brother started to get into it. My favorite cousin was the best rapper. My uncle was a producer, singers. And so I was this introverted kid just soaking it all up.
Yeah.
Just being in the corner, just letting it rub off on me. And I was privileged to grow up in the hyphy movement, which is like one of the peaks of Bay Area rap music, where the culture was just exciting and infectious. And so I was an impressionable youth during that time. And just being around it, you know, I'll never forget my 15th birthday, I just got bit by the music bug. I just started just rapping. On my birthday, just every day just started rapping. My cousin would, like, make beats on his chest as we're, like, walking down the street, and he would just let me go. And I just kept going for hours and hours and hours. But when I was with my friends, they would be like, Miles, bro, stop. You're trash. Like, why? What are you doing? But then we kept it going. So, that's how it started for me.
Hey, real quick. If you've been telling yourself, I'll deal with this later, let this be your moment. If you want to live with integrity online and you're tired of fighting private battles in secret, Covenant Eyes can help. It's accountability software designed to bring transparency to your devices and support healthier choices, not just through willpower, but through trusted relationships. And right now, you can try Covenant Eyes with a 30-day free trial. Just use the link in the show notes or visit covenanteyes.com and use promo code AACC on screen to get your 30 days free. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to take the next step. Covenant Eyes. Take the step into the light.
Yeah. And the part that I was saying that I can really resonate with is that I loved creativity. I loved modeling. I loved acting, and I love portraying a character and then just like developing that character, and then like telling a story and just storytelling in general. And that was something that God put in me, a desire for that and a capability for that. And I used it for myself and really as a coping mechanism for a long time. But then, when I gave my life to Christ, it was like the Holy Ghost like sprinkled the magic on it, and it amplified something that was already there. Like Ephesians 2:10 talks about, there's things that were predestined for you to walk in. And when you walk in the thing that God has prepared you to do and you do it, guess what? You're satisfied, fulfilled, because he made you to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like there's these gifts in you that are still there. Like we're all created in the image of God, and God puts these things in us, and sometimes we misappropriate those things.
For sure.
But in spite of ourselves, sometimes like we have success and we're good at things, and because everything that's good about us that we do, whether it be like our charisma or our ability to communicate, or even like in aesthetics, they're all gravitational pulls like to us, so that we can say, hey, there's a God that loves you, that sent your son, that he died on the cross and he rose again. If you put your faith in him, you'll be made new. At the end of the day, like it's all for that purpose. It's for his good, for his glory.
Yes.
But there's times where we misuse those things But in spite of that, we're still sharpening that tool.
That's right. That's right.
So I sharpen this tool in my teens, in my 20s, and I give my life to Jesus at 30. And then all of a sudden, a few years later, I end up with a mic in my hand and theology in my heart, in my head. And I'm like, wow, not only do I love doing this, I'm pretty good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how kind is God? Have you found yourself in that way where God's prepared you in spite of yourself because you were trying to do things that, you loved it, but you certainly weren't doing it for the glory of God. But then when you're in surrender and submission to God, all of a sudden he puts gas on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny, like every time I would perform like amongst a big group of people that I used to rock with, but I was always like the standout rapper on the stage. And I never like rehearsed before these shows or anything. It was always a natural thing. And every time I would go back and watch the footage of it, I would always feel like, oh no, like God put something in me. Even when I wasn't doing it for God, I would always give him the credit in my head, like, oh no, like God is doing something. It's funny because even so my dad, like, he wasn't a super Christian, but he had like desires and morals for me to be one sometimes. Yeah. And so one of the ways he would express that is like, look, you're doing all this gangster music and all of that, whatever, that's fine. But if you want me to help you and to invest in you, pay for your videos, your studio time, I'm gonna need you to do some clean records and some Christian songs. And I said, okay, well, let me try one. So I did a clean record. He paid for it, and it went good on YouTube. But then there was a talent show at my high school, my senior year, and the judges were Christian artists. Nobody knew this but me because I was the president of the Black Student Union. So I had inside scoop.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if I'm going to win this talent show, let me do a Christian rap song. And when I tell you, it's like God was waiting for me to do Christian music. Because as soon as I did it, I'm in the studio with all kind of, drug dealers and crackheads and everybody all around. But everybody would stop what they was doing and watch me record this song, and jaws dropped. They was like, yo, what is this? I'm like, it's a song for God, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, this goes so crazy. So I did the song, and I was by myself this year, no group, for the talent show. Performed it. The whole school was there, thousands of kids. And it was turned the freak up. I'm telling you, the judges on top of the tables, flipping chairs. It went crazy, and I won the talent show with a Christian rap song. I said, oh, Jesus. Like, maybe this is what God has called me to do for real. Yeah. Like, not a morphed version of it, but like, no, like, do it for God. But I still didn't listen. Yeah. I still didn't. It took me a minute to listen. Yeah. But that was always in the back of my head. It always was. So then I would go back to the clubs, perform at the clubs as a 17-year-old, still like doing really well. Then I joined this like positive nonprofit group where I'm doing like spoken word poetry, and then I'm diving into the acting, and none of it was Christian based. But it's like I used the gift of God in these spaces, and I was learning so much in these spaces. So when I finally did surrender, it's like, oh, I'm really experienced. Yeah. Like, I really know what I'm doing. Yeah. Oh, but then God fast-tracked me. Because when I surrendered, I was really planted in my church in the Bay Area. And they used me like nobody's business. Like, you gonna do offering, you gonna preach sometimes on Sundays when Bishop not here, you're gonna be a youth pastor for free. And you're gonna take 7 kids and multiply it into 100. You're gonna preach every single week. You're gonna drive from here to Oakland to preach twice in 1 week and do 2 different youth ministries. You're gonna perform for us only. Like, I stopped my secular career. I was performing in church. I was famous in my church.
Let's go.
In my church, I was doing anthems for the youth, and all of that shaped me. So when God said, I want you, top 2018, he said, I want you to put your all into the music and watch what I do with it. I was going out there, man, you would have thought I was like, I've been just like touring the world or something. Cause like boom, 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 boom. I know how to work the crowd. I know. Cause when you serve in church, you know how to deal with people for real. If you have like that kind of position where you deal directly with the crowd or with the audience. And so boom, like all of these, I could talk for days about it, but I'm back at these award ceremonies with these secular artists, and I'm crushing it as a Christian rapper with no music out. They're like, who are you? Who are you? But hey, man, when you got the gift of God and you have opportunity to exercise it and it gets sharpened, but then you give it to God, sometimes He'll develop you in the dark. Yeah. So when it's time to get in the light, you're so ready. And oh my God, that's why I was so excited to be at Rolling Loud earlier this year. Down the street. Yeah. Rolling Loud is the biggest rap festival in the world. And I was the first Christian rapper to be booked officially to be a part of it. And I was watching everybody's sets respectfully. I'm like, y'all need some work. Y'all need some work, boy. And so, boom. See, I be trying to like censor myself and not talk crazy, but I feel like you understand it.
I get it.
Yeah, you understand it. We got on that stage, man, tore that thing all the way up and showed them like, 2 o'clock set time is fire, but you got to put it at 6 o'clock or something, because we know how to work this crowd. We not walking around holding our pants. Yeah, like we gonna engage the audience, and I learned all of this through God sharpening my gift in the dark.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
That's incredible. And I think there's when I see you and just even getting to know you over this short period of time, I just feel like there's a very resilient spirit about you. Where does that come from?
Man, wow, you're moving in the spirit of God for sure. For sure, resilience. So it doesn't come from, I would say, a particular person that I was raised around. I literally think it comes from two different things. One, it's like a strong desire to become something great for the betterment of others. Even before I met God, I used to cry to myself, like, I want to help these people. I want to give my friends careers. This is what I want to do with my life. So that, and then by God moments revealing to me where I'm headed. Like when I was 18 years old, I walked into church super late, but I prayed that God will put His words in the pastor's mouth for me. And so I could have went to the next service, but I said, no, it's going to be this service here. It was a guest speaker that day. I didn't know it was going to be a guest speaker, but I'm like, God, I asked you to speak. The guest prophet walks to the edge of the stage, calls me out of the back of the church. This is 2012, October 14th. He calls me out. He's like, young man, I don't know who you are. Come to the front. God is going to use you on social media. He's going to send you all over the world. You're going to be famous for Him. You're going to do music for Him. You're going to dance for Him in front of the world. And he starts saying all of these things that I needed to hear because I was confused and I had no direction. Gave me that direction. And it was such a God moment because I prayed for God to speak to me. And for that to be said to me that day, I said, oh, no, I know where I'm going. Yeah. And God said it. God said it. Therefore, anything that's contrary to what He said, it's not for me. Yeah. It's not for me. Now, some of that resulted in me rushing God and not trusting God. I was like quitting jobs and all kind of, I'm about to be in Israel. I'm about to do all these things. But no. Even when I had shows with like 40 people, I'm grateful for those shows. But I knew, I'm like, this is the starting point. Yeah. I know God is going to use us to be a blessing to more people. And so I'm looking at these mountains like light work. Yeah. Light work. Even when we started our festival in the Bay Area, we called it Glowchella. When Coachella tried to shut us down, I'm like, God bless y'all, but y'all can't shut down the move of God. If anything, they blew it up, made it better.
Yeah.
And now it's like, bigger venue this year. What? Come on. This light work. We finna do our own Rolling Loud. 100,000 people in a year or so. Wow. What are we talking about? Even next year. See, God, you about to have me talk. See, what you're doing is pressing buttons in me. 1 year ago, I did the Novo. It's one of the biggest venues in Los Angeles. We sold it out. A prominent DJ by the name of DJ Head came to the show. He is the gatekeeper of L.A. Nobody gets his approval. Nobody. He came to our show, stamped us. To this day, he's like, Miles Minnick, the glow, Miles Minnick, the glow, Miles Minnick, the glow. 1 year ago, he said, Miles, he was prophesying. He said, Miles is going to be the biggest artist in music in 2 years. That was 1 year ago. And he said in 2 years, he's going to sell out the Kia Forum. And so now I'm looking like how much it costs to book the Kia Forum. How much it costs. Straight up. Oh my God. How much do it cost? And I don't care what we got to do. We going to sell that thing out. I think God is waiting for people to believe him on that level.
Yeah.
I always believed him on that level. Even with me moving to Los Angeles. I ain't from out here. I'm from the Bay Area. My mortgage was $1,600. I pay $4,400 for rent out here. I'm like, God, are you sure this is you? But if it's you, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And every time I have that I'm doing it mindset, the Lord just start blessing it, blessing it, blessing it, blessing it. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a 10-minute answer.
But I think there's so much wisdom in that because, I mean, you think about like numbers like 13 and 14, like, you know, they finally get to the promised land. Moses is like, okay, we're going to send in the spies. 10 of the spies come back and they're like, yeah, the land's fruitful. There's all these, you know, there's these 20-pound clusters of grapes. You know, there's water. There's everything there, but there's these giants and there's these walls, and maybe we should go back to Egypt where we came from. And Joshua and Caleb were like, no. Surely we can take them, but their belief system, it was born in splitting the Red Sea, water from a rock, you know, manna from heaven, the cloud of fire.
Like, if God could do that,
yeah,
why he can't do this?
Yeah, because they trust he is who he proved himself to be, and he's not a man of his word that should lie. So if I trust that what God has called me to, he's prepared me for, and his provision is not going to be lacked in a place where his plan is, then I'm going to move forward in spite of what I see. And I think when you do that, as you said, he most certainly will bless it, because it's not your idea, it's his, and he doesn't exist he exists outside of time, so he actually already knows the outcome. So when he says it's done, not only does he mean it in that moment, he knows what happens at the finish line.
That's so good. That's so good. And it's like it's ministering to me even now, like just thinking about all the ways he's made, all the times he showed up, all the times I didn't have money for rent and somebody would randomly knock on my door, like, I feel led to give you $4,000. Like, stuff like that. I'm like, if God could go out of his way to do these things and prove himself to me throughout the past 15 years, why would I doubt him now?
Yeah.
Why would I doubt that he can't give Royal City a building in the next year?
Let's go.
Why would I doubt that we can't exist in mainstream spaces while proclaiming the gospel and being real Christians?
Yeah.
Why would I doubt that my oldest daughter would not fully give her life to God?
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's go. And there's a story that I've heard you tell that I think has a really great lesson in it. And that you had this interaction and belief with Lecrae, and then it came to fruition. Would you share that story?
So, I love doing interviews with people who really like ask good questions. These are good questions, and it's a good story. But like the question leading up to the story is having me thinking, is getting me thinking deeper about it.
Yeah.
When I really gave myself to God and started to plant myself in church, the main message of that church was faith,
Yeah.
belief,
Yeah.
and acting on that belief. And so one of the practices was like, yo, you got to sow where you want to go. If you come across somebody that you aspire to be like, sow seed into that person, serve that person, you know, and you you never know what could happen. You never know what that seed could sprout into. So me taking that, internalizing it, I had $10 to my name. Well, I had 15, but I paid $5 for the train to get to San Francisco. So I waited by Lecrae's tour bus with $10 because I didn't have meet and greet money, so I couldn't like get access to him inside the building. So I waited for him outside his concert with my hand in my pocket, holding on to that $10 bill. When he came out, I shook his hand. I put the money in his hand. I'm like, yo, you inspire me. God bless you. I wanted to give this to you. Sow a seed. He's like, I can't take this from you, man. I can't take it from you. I'm like, no. I need you to take it. I need you to take it.
Yeah.
Because I sow where I want to go, and I believe one day I'm going to work with you, and I'm going to have a similar amount of impact on the world that you have had and build from there. I need you to take it.
Yeah.
And he took it. We took a picture. And then 7 years after that, he reached out to me to work with me, not even knowing that was me.
Yeah.
From 2014, waiting by his bus. And so that's another God story that you just can't make up. Not only did he reach out to me to do music, we have a whole album. We're going on tour. He's giving me all the game. He's essentially giving me the torch.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all came from me giving him $10, but there's something there.
Yeah. I think there's something there on both sides, because there's something there of like the understanding reciprocity. You know, it's like I'm gonna give to this, or I'm gonna sow into this because I believe that God is in this, and I want to contribute, this seed into the ground because I believe that something beautiful is going to grow from it.
Yes.
But I think on the other side, sometimes it's difficult receiving. Like I can really resonate with like him saying, "Man, I don't want to take this from you." And I think sometimes we reject generosity, and we think we're doing people a favor, but we're actually robbing them of the thing that they need most.
Yeah. I think about that sometimes. Like, what if he would have, rejected it? That's like, no, don't sow seed into this ground.
Yeah.
I'm glad, like, that's that word. I persevered through that. Like, no. This is going in the ground today.
Yeah.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
deep.
I think it's really important to think about, because it's like as you move forward in your life, something I love to think about, like Tim Timberlake is very influential in my life, and he always talks about legacy is not what you leave for someone, it's what you leave in someone. And just thinking about, like, man, in spite of my story of what I saw growing up, what I can leave in my 4 boys is the man that I am, and how I respond to conflict, and how I'm assured of who I am, not because of what I've done, because of whose I am. It's like, man, just that whole idea is like, our time comes to a close. It's like, for me, what transformed my life was understanding that the most important thing about me is that I'm a son of God. And
That's good.
The most important thing that you'll ever find about me is not on Google. It's written in the Lamb's Book of Life. It's what Jesus did on the cross is the most important thing that's ever happened in my life. Not a circumstance, not a season. And if I can leave that in my boys, then I've done my job.
That's beautiful.
And I would just say to someone out there that this whole community, the podcast called Built Different, and we want to respond to adversity. We want to live in perseverance. We want to push back whatever is holding us back from all that God wants us to have. To the person out there that's like going through a tough time, and they've got this God dream written on their heart, but everything they see in front of them is just the giants in the big walls. All they see is obstacles and opportunities that they don't have, and they just don't see a way. What would you say to that person?
Do not grow weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap. But here's the kicker: if you faint not. If you faint not, I was in a place where I was fainting, where I wasn't seeing the promises of God or the manifestation of God, and I was aborting my process. I was neglecting the season I was in, trying to reach for what I felt like God had for me, but I had to realize that he had me where I was to prepare me for what he had for me. And so what if there could be somebody out there where you're neglecting where you are, trying to get to where you're going, but where you are is going to prepare you and shape you to be ready for where you're going. Embrace where God has you right now and allow him to teach you everything you need to know. Because what's coming next, you're going to need the skills that you learned from this season to have that sharp axe to cut that wall down. God's hand is on your life. You just got to let that hand mold you and shape you. Trust him and don't rush him in this season. And you watch what he does. I'm telling you, I'll never forget. I had this job at the bank. I hated it. But I said, God, if you have me here, I'm going to serve you by being excellent at this job. And if you want me to be a full-time artist, to travel the world, I'm going to let you do it. I'm here. And as soon as I adopted that mindset, it's almost as if the Lord fast-tracked me to be where I am now. Literally 9 months at that job, music blows up. I said, God, I told you I'm not going to quit. God said, okay. Next morning, I get fired after that prayer. And then he launched me. And now it's been 6 years. I've been walking and living and breathing in purpose. So I don't know who that's for. Embrace where you are and serve and be present, and you watch how God accelerates you. Amen.
Yeah, amen. Man, what a joy it was. I just feel like we're just hanging out, getting to know each other, but man, I know that blessed somebody for sure.
Oh yeah,
and I appreciate you so much, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Man, if the band you are today told, 10-year-old Miles that you were going to be doing that, what do you think he would have said?
You're freaking crazy. Because at 10, I wasn't good at anything but video games.
Yeah.
Like, I always had the acting bug, so I had that desire, but music, speaking, what? No freaking way. But if you told the 15-year-old,
okay.
If I told the 15-year-old, I would be, and it's for God, I wouldn't, I wouldn't believe it, but it would intrigue me.
Yeah.
Because one thing I did have is a grandmother who prayed. She passed away early. She used to be on heavy drugs, so it really affected her health. But she used to bring me to, like, these Easter services when I was young. In the Easter services, we would joke around because the true meaning of Easter, like, all of my family would, like, joke around about it, but it always was, like, somewhere in the back of me. And so I would be like, oh, snap. I can see that. And you're not going to be broke? Let's go.
That's wild.
But, yeah.
But, I mean, in spite of ourselves, though, it's like That's who God is. Like Ephesians 3:20, you know, like God stands ready to do exceedingly abundantly more than we could ever hope, dream, or imagine. It's like, you know, sitting here, I'm sure the both of us, we probably would not have had the guts to dream of the life that we have today. But yeah, here we are. Because God doesn't want, like whatever you could, like, dream up in your head, like, God doesn't want that for you. He wants something that exceeds that.
I love it.
So we'll just let that marinate. But, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, real quick, if you've been telling yourself, I'll deal with this later, let this be your moment. If you want to live with integrity online and you're tired of fighting private battles in secret, Covenant Eyes can help. It's accountability software designed to bring transparency to your devices and support healthier choices, not just through willpower, but through trusted relationships. And right now, you can try Covenant Eyes with a 30-day free trial. Just use the link in the show notes or visit covenanteyes.com and use promo code AACC on screen to get your 30 days free. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to take the next step. Covenant Eyes. Take the step into the light.